the headlines hit like a thunderclap. Charlie Kirk's parents finally break their silence, revealing why they never trusted Erika Kirk. Within hours, the story was everywhere. Conservative circles were buzzing, social media was in flames, and fans who once adored the couple were suddenly questioning everything. What began as whispers about tension behind closed doors had turned into a full-blown family showdown. And the truth, according to those closest to Charlie, was far darker than anyone imagined. It all started at a private fundraiser in Arizona, an event meant to celebrate Charlie's growing influence in political media. Cameras weren't supposed to be there, but someone leaked a short, grainy clip. In it, Charlie's mother could be seen whispering something to his father, her expression cold as stone, while Erika gave a speech beside them. The video went viral within minutes, and online detectives began replaying it frame by frame. Did she just roll her eyes? One viewer wrote, "Why does his mom look so uncomfortable?" Another asked. But that was only the surface. Behind that polite smile and tightly clasped hands, there had been months, maybe years of tension. Insiders close to the family described it as an emotional chess game, one where every public appearance was calculated and every word carried weight. Friends say Charlie's parents believed Erika was too controlling, too image-conscious, and far too ambitious for the family's liking. They wanted someone who would stand by their son quietly, not someone who would match his fame and challenge his influence. But Erika, according to those who know her, was never one to fade into the background. She had her own brand, her own followers, her own way of commanding attention. And that confidence, what some called charisma, was exactly what made Charlie fall for her. Yet it was also what made his parents nervous. As one close friend allegedly said, they saw in Erika a mirror of Charlie's own driven that scared them. Because in their minds, only one star could shine brightest. Tensions began spilling into family gatherings. There were awkward dinners, canceled holidays, and subtle online shade disguised as moral reflections. Fans started noticing the absence of Erika in family posts. Then came the quiet unfollows on Instagram, followed by the family's decision not to attend one of Erika's speaking events, a move that spoke louder than any public statement. Now, with the Kirks' inner circle breaking ranks and revealing what really went down, the narrative has shifted completely. The once perfect image of unity between Charlie, Erika, and his parents has cracked wide open. People are asking, was this all about control, money, or reputation? Or was there something deeper, a betrayal that no one saw coming? And perhaps the most haunting part, sources claim Charlie himself is caught in the middle, torn between loyalty to his wife and the parents who built the foundation of his public life. The family's private conversations, once sealed behind gated walls, are beginning to leak, and what they reveal could change everything the public thought they knew about the Kirks. Because in this story, trust was never given. It was a prize won that Erika Kirk might never have truly won. The quiet surface of the Kirk family image had always looked perfect: glossy smiles, conservative values, and public unity. But underneath, the cracks had been forming long before anyone noticed. Those closest to the family say that the tension between Charlie's parents and his wife, Erika, began as early as their engagement. According to one insider, it wasn't a matter of dislike at first. It was mistrust, quiet and unspoken, like a shadow that followed every conversation. Erika came from a world that wasn't afraid of spotlight or strategy. And to Charlie's parents, that world felt too unpredictable, too loud for their son's carefully built empire. Charlie's mother, especially, had her reservations. She was the kind of woman who valued restraint, the kind who believed that silence could be more powerful than any speech. Erika, on the other hand, believed that silence meant surrender. So when the family sat together at dinners, their values clashed in ways that couldn't always be disguised by polite smiles. "She talks too much about her brand," one relative was overheard saying after a Christmas gathering. "Everything is about presentation with her." The words found their way back to Erika, as words always do, and something inside her hardened. From there, every interaction became a quiet competition. Erika would post about charity events she organized, and within hours, Charlie's mother would share a post about humility and true faith. It was never direct, but it was pointed. Fans began noticing the pattern, calling it the silent feud of the Kirk family. While Charlie brushed off the speculation publicly, those close to him said he was walking a tightrope at home. His parents believed Erika was using his fame to elevate herself. Erika believed his parents wanted to keep her in a supporting role, never equal. Both sides were right in their own ways, and that made it worse. The breaking point came during an event in Dallas, where Charlie was scheduled to speak about leadership and family values. His parents had flown in to support him, but the atmosphere was already tense. According to a source who attended, Erika wanted to sit on stage beside her husband, but his parents insisted that it wouldn't look right. They wanted to keep the focus on Charlie, not on what they called unnecessary distractions. Erika refused. The disagreement spilled into the green room minutes before the event started. "You're not controlling my life," she snapped, her voice low but firm. Charlie's mother looked at her son and said, "And she's already controlling yours." The argument ended abruptly when staff members entered the room, pretending not to hear the tension that hung like smoke. Charlie gave his speech that night with a calm voice and steady expression, but those watching closely said his smile never reached his eyes. The video of that event would later resurface, with viewers pointing out the awkward stiffness between Erika and her "That's not a family," one commenter wrote. "That's a performance." After that, the family's dynamic began to crumble quietly. Phone calls became fewer, visits shorter, and the warmth that once defined their gatherings turned cold. Charlie's father, who had always been the peacekeeper, began taking his wife's side more openly. He told a friend that he didn't trust Erika's intentions. In his mind, she was building her own empire on top of Charlie's, one that didn't include the family who had helped him rise. The friend later described the conversation as sad, but revealing. At the same time, Erika felt increasingly isolated. She told a close confidant that she could feel the judgment every time she walked into a room. She began skipping family events altogether, citing her busy schedule, though everyone knew it was more than that. Fans started noticing her absence, and speculation grew. When asked about it during an interview, Charlie simply said, "Everyone needs space, sometimes." But his tone said otherwise. Then came the dinner that changed everything. It was supposed to be a private reconciliation attempt, arranged by a mutual family friend. Charlie, Erika, and his parents met at a quiet restaurant outside Phoenix. For the first 30 minutes, things seemed civil, forced smiles, polite conversation, the kind of cautious truce that families sometimes manage for the sake of peace. But when the subject turned to Erika's new project, a media initiative she had launched without consulting Charlie's team, the atmosphere shifted sharply. Charlie's mother leaned forward, her voice calm but cutting. "You're moving too fast, Erika. These things can affect Charlie's credibility." Erika's reply came without hesitation. "I'm not his liability, I'm his partner. Or does that make you uncomfortable?" The table fell silent. Charlie's father tried to smooth things over, but the damage was done. Erika excused herself, leaving behind an untouched plate and a tension so thick it silenced the room. That night, witnesses saw Charlie's parents leaving the restaurant separately from him. No one spoke on the drive home. Rumors spread quickly after that. Some said Erika confronted Charlie at home about not defending her. Others claimed his parents demanded a private family intervention to talk sense into him. Whatever happened, it was enough to cause a visible shift. Charlie began appearing at events alone more often, avoiding questions about his marriage. Erika, meanwhile, poured herself into her own ventures, doubling down on her independence. To outsiders, it looked like a couple growing apart. To insiders, it looked like a battle of wills. And then, just when things seemed to settle into uneasy silence, another spark reignited the fire. A podcast host mentioned that Charlie's parents had privately expressed concern about the influence of certain people around him. The phrasing was vague, but fans immediately connected it to Erika. Within hours, social media was ablaze with theories. "They're talking about her." One comment read, "The parents have never liked her." The backlash was brutal, and Erika fired back online with a post that read, "Loyalty isn't measured by silence, it's measured by truth." That single line became the centerpiece of countless gossip videos and analysis threads. To some, it was a subtle clapback at her to others, it was a cry for independence. But to Charlie's parents, it was proof that she couldn't be trusted. "She thrives." It was proof that she couldn't be trusted. "She thrives." On attention, a family acquaintance told reporters, "Everything is a statement with her, even her silence." The tension, which had once been confined to private spaces, was now spilling into the public. Behind the scenes, friends urged Charlie to take control of the narrative before it damaged his reputation. But he was paralyzed, caught between the two sides of his life, the woman he loved and the parents who had shaped his career. Those who saw him during that time described him as exhausted, guarded, and increasingly distant. One source said, "He was trying to keep everyone happy, but it was impossible. He was losing both sides." And as the media storm grew, so did the bitterness. Erika reportedly refused to attend a family charity gala that year, claiming she wasn't welcome. His parents went ahead with the event anyway, posing for photos with other political figures, smiling tightly while pretending nothing was wrong. But in one interview clip that leaked later, His mother was overheard saying, "Sometimes you have to protect your child from their own choices." That quote went viral overnight. Fans flooded Erika's social media with messages, some supportive, others cruel. And through it all, Charlie remained silent, his loyalty unspoken but scrutinized by millions. The Kirk family had become a live drama, one where every glance, every caption, every quote carried hidden meaning. The trust that once tied them together had unraveled, one careful thread at a time. And yet, even as the family tried to keep appearances, insiders knew this was only the beginning. Something much bigger, something long buried was about to surface. Something that would make even their closest allies question who was telling the truth. Because in this story, every smile hid a secret, and every silence was louder than words. The weeks following that leaked interview were nothing short of chaos. Charlie Kirk's name trended nonstop, not for his speeches or political influence, but for what fans called the Great Kirk Family Fallout. Podcasts dissected every expression in old photos. Tabloids released blurry images of Erika walking alone, and speculation twisted even the smallest actions into proof of deeper betrayal. And in the middle of it all, Charlie's parents decided they had stayed quiet long enough. It began with an unexpected move. A close family friend, who had always kept out of the spotlight, suddenly spoke to a small conservative outlet, claiming that the Kirks are protecting their son from manipulation. The interview didn't name Erika directly, but it didn't have to. The internet knew exactly who they meant. Within hours, headlines screamed, "Kirk family insider confirms years of tension with Erika." And from that moment, the story spiraled beyond control. Behind closed doors, Charlie was furious. Sources say he confronted his parents immediately, accusing them of feeding the fire. "You're making things worse," he told them during a heated phone call that one insider described as pure heartbreak. But his mother reportedly refused to back down. "We're trying to save you," she said coldly. "One day you'll see what she's doing." The conversation ended abruptly, and from that point forward, Charlie stopped taking their calls. Meanwhile, Erika saw the moment as an opportunity to reclaim her image. She appeared in a live stream days later, her tone calm but pointed. "People can twist stories," she said, looking directly into the camera. "But the truth doesn't need permission to exist." It was a simple line, but the way she said it measured, deliberate, and with the faintest trace of emotion made fans rally behind her. "She's handling this with grace," one comment read. "Her composure is unreal," wrote another, but others weren't convinced. "This is all performative," someone posted. "She's spinning it her way." As the internet debated, Charlie's parents took another unexpected step. They sat down for a formal interview, a move no one anticipated. Filmed in their Arizona home, the setting was almost painfully intimate. Soft lighting, framed family photos in the background, and two people who looked weary but resolute. When the interviewer asked about Erika, Charlie's mother hesitated before saying, "We've never wanted to speak against anyone, but there are things the public doesn't understand." She paused, eyes glistening slightly. "Trust has to be earned, and in this case, it never was." The clip went viral instantly. Fans replayed every second, analyzing her expression, her tone, her phrasing. "They're hinting at something huge," one viewer tweeted. "What don't they trust her with?" another asked. Conspiracy theories exploded online. Some claimed it was about finances. Others insisted there was a private betrayal, something too sensitive to be spoken aloud. The mystery only deepened when the family's former assistant came forward, anonymously claiming that Erika had once clashed with Charlie's team over business decisions. Rumors painted her as controlling, even ruthless. According to one version, she had demanded creative control over a major campaign her husband was leading, causing friction between his management and his parents. Another source described an incident where Erika allegedly overruled one of Charlie's advisors during a high-profile event, insisting she knew what was best for the brand. Those who sided with his parents said that was the moment they lost all trust in her. But Erika wasn't backing down. She responded indirectly through a cryptic post. "They fear what they can't control." The words sent shockwaves through social media, interpreted as a direct strike at her The feud had gone from whispers to open warfare. What once was a private family issue had now become a full-blown public spectacle. Behind the scenes, friends say Charlie was breaking under the pressure. One described him as a man trapped between love and legacy. He couldn't publicly defend his wife without alienating his base, and he couldn't support his parents without betraying her. It was a no-win situation. He stopped smiling in public, another insider revealed. He'd go on stage, deliver his speeches, shake hands, but the spark was gone. The family's inner circle tried to intervene, organizing a private mediation session through a mutual pastor. Everyone agreed to attend, hoping to settle things quietly. But what happened inside that meeting only deepened the divide. Witnesses say it began calmly, with prayers and polite conversation, but turned emotional within minutes. Charlie's father spoke first, saying, "We only want what's best for our son." Erika replied, her voice shaking slightly, "Then stop treating me like I'm the enemy." His mother responded softly, "We tried to welcome you, but you never let us in." Silence filled the room for several seconds before Charlie finally spoke. "This has to stop," he said, his tone breaking. "I can't keep choosing between you." But instead of resolution, his words only underscored how deep the fracture had grown. The meeting ended without agreement, and for weeks afterward, no one spoke. The public, however, refused to let it fade. Every silence became suspicious, every move analyzed. When Charlie skipped a family function in July, fans speculated he was siding with Erika. When his parents appeared at church without him, rumors spread that they'd cut him off financially. The frenzy reached a peak when an anonymous account leaked what it claimed were private texts between Erika and a family member, hinting at betrayal and resentment. Though the authenticity was never proven, the damage was done. Erika's team denied the leaks immediately, calling them fabricated and malicious. But Charlie's parents didn't issue a denial. Instead, they released a brief statement. "We pray for truth and unity within our family." The message sounded peaceful, but to many, it felt like another veiled attack. "They're implying something again," one viewer commented. "They're keeping the door open for doubt." Then came the dinner party incident that sent everything over the edge. At a private celebration hosted by one of Charlie's colleagues, his parents and Erika unexpectedly crossed paths for the first time in months. Witnesses described the atmosphere as ice. Erika arrived confident, dressed elegantly, her smile unwavering. Charlie's parents greeted others, but kept their distance from her. Halfway through the evening, someone mentioned family loyalty, and that was all it took. Erika reportedly turned to his mother and said quietly, "Loyalty doesn't mean submission." The word struck like lightning. His mother replied, her tone sharp, "And independence doesn't mean isolation." The exchange lasted less than a minute, but everyone in the room felt the chill that followed. You could hear the tension crackling. One attendee later said, "They didn't raise their voices, but it was worse than shouting." By the next morning, gossip sites were buzzing. Kirk family confrontation caught on camera. One headline read, "Though no footage ever surfaced." Still, the story was too sensational to die. Pundits dissected it, fans debated loyalties. And suddenly the Kirk family became the newest obsession for millions of followers who couldn't look away. And through it all, Charlie's silence remained the loudest sound. He hadn't spoken publicly about the feud, but his absence from family photos told its own story. Some believed he was quietly distancing himself from both sides, trying to rebuild peace privately. Others whispered that he was planning something, an announcement, maybe, or a statement that would finally end the speculation. But what no one knew then was that the next move wouldn't come from Charlie or Erika. It would come from his parents, and what they were about to reveal would shake everything the public thought they knew about why they never trusted her. The revelation came without warning. Early one morning, a lengthy open letter appeared online, posted through a family acquaintance who claimed to have the blessing of Mr. and Mrs. Kirk. It was written in careful, formal language, the kind that hid emotion behind politeness, but readers could feel the pain between every line. The letter began by saying, "We have stayed silent for too long, believing that family matters should remain private. But when silence turns into misunderstanding, truth must find its way to light." Within minutes, screenshots flooded social media, and the Kirk name was trending again. The letter claimed that from the very start, Erika's relationship with Charlie had been marked by strategic behavior and a concerning lack of transparency. It described instances where she allegedly misrepresented financial agreements, alienated long-standing family advisors, and attempted to isolate Charlie from trusted mentors. The tone was measured, but the implication was explosive. "Trust," they wrote, "was something we extended with hope and faith. What we received instead was distance and deception." Fans were stunned. Too many. This felt like an all-out declaration of war. Supporters of Charlie's parents flooded the internet with sympathy, while Erika's followers accused the Kirks of manipulation. One viral tweet summed up the mood. "This isn't a family anymore, it's a public trial." Within hours, journalists began reaching out to Erika's camp for a response. She didn't stay silent. That same evening, Erika released a video statement from what looked like her home office. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were tired, the kind of exhaustion that only comes from too many sleepless nights. "I have been quiet because I believed love required restraint," she began. But it seems silence has become an open invitation for slander. She denied every accusation, calling them hurtful and deeply unfair, and then added, "I will not allow anyone, not even family, to rewrite my intentions." The video spread like wildfire. Some viewers praised her strength. Others said it felt rehearsed, too polished to be genuine. One comment under the video read, "They're all performing for the public. No one's telling the full story." But beneath the noise, something darker was happening behind the scenes. Insiders revealed that the family's business structure, where charitable foundations, investments, and speaking engagements intertwined, had become a silent battleground. Decisions once made jointly were now being questioned. Signatures were missing. Calls went unanswered. It wasn't just personal anymore. It was financial, reputational, and deeply political. Charlie's parents reportedly believed Erika was influencing his business choices for her own benefit. While Erika claimed they were trying to control every move he made, they want ownership over his life. She allegedly told a friend, "But he's not a child anymore." Her friend, speaking anonymously, said she looked both defiant and heartbroken when she said it. As the family's private affairs began leaking, a second wave of stories hit the media. One article claimed that Erika had secretly hired a new management consultant to restructure Charlie's organization without informing his parents. Another suggested that Charlie's father had attempted to freeze certain accounts to protect assets. Both stories were denied, but the damage was irreversible. Fans who had once admired the family for unity now saw division, mistrust, and ambition. In the middle of the storm, a secret recording surfaced, an audio clip said to be from a family conversation months earlier. The voice, believed to be Charlie's father, could be heard saying, "She's rewriting everything, and he doesn't even see it." Another voice, faint but recognizable as his mother, added, "He'll see it when it's too late." Though neither party confirmed the recording's authenticity, it circulated widely, fueling theories that the parents had been planning to expose Erika for months. Erika responded cryptically on social media, posting a single phrase, "The ones who warn you about betrayal are usually the ones who've already planned it." It was bold, direct, and chillingly precise. Within minutes, the post was shared thousands of times. Her followers hailed it as a mic drop, while critics accused her of further provoking the family. The Kirk parents released no response. Charlie, meanwhile, began to unravel publicly. People noticed him canceling appearances, speaking less, and avoiding questions about his marriage altogether. Close friends described him as haunted. One insider claimed he had moved out temporarily, splitting his time between two residences to find clarity. It was the first sign that the feud had started to affect not just his image, but his sanity. "He's being pulled in two directions," the insider said. "He loves his parents, but he's in love with Erika, and now he's realizing those two truths can't coexist." As his silence deepened, speculation turned into frenzy. Talk shows debated whether the couple was on the verge of separation. Some suggested Charlie's parents had staged the letter release to force his hand. Others believed Erika would retaliate with her own revelations. Fans dissected every move: the ring on her finger, his absence from her posts, the tension in their few public sightings. Then came a moment that stunned everyone. At a leadership summit, during a Q&A session, an audience member asked Charlie a personal question. "How do you balance faith and family when there's conflict?" The room went silent. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then, with a strained smile, he answered, "Faith isn't about choosing sides, it's about forgiveness." His voice cracked slightly on the last word. Though he didn't mention names, the weight of it hung heavy. Clips of that moment spread across social media, captioned with phrases like "he's breaking" and Charlie's silent cry. After that, things shifted again. Erika disappeared from public view for several weeks, and rumors circulated that she had gone to stay with her family out of state. During that time, Charlie's parents were seen attending events with close allies, speaking vaguely about spiritual battles within families. Their supporters applauded their strength. Their critics called it manipulation. And then, just when the public began to think the dust might settle, a journalist released a bombshell article. It claimed to have obtained internal documents showing that Erika had been in talks to launch a new independent media platform, one that directly competed with Charlie's brand. The implication was devastating, that she had been planning to separate her identity and possibly her career from his for months. While her team dismissed the report as taken out of context, Charlie's parents reportedly saw it as proof of everything they had warned him about. Within the Kirk household, emotions boiled over. According to one account, Charlie confronted Erika late one night, asking if it was true. She denied it, but her voice shook. "I just needed my own space," she told him. "That doesn't mean I'm against you." He didn't reply. "Doesn't mean I'm against you." He didn't reply. Witnesses said he simply walked out of the room. That night, he stayed with a friend instead of returning home. The story went public days later. And suddenly the internet wasn't talking about faith or family anymore, they were talking about betrayal. Was this all for power? One viral post asked, "Did the parents see what he couldn't?" Another asked. The debate had split fans into camps. Team Erika and Team Kirk. And for the first time, even Charlie's silence began to feel like a statement of its own. Yet through all the noise, one question began echoing louder than the rest. What exactly did his parents mean when they said they never trusted Erika? Because if the open letter was only the beginning, what came next would make even that look tame. The truth they had been hinting at for months, the secret reason behind their distrust was finally about to be revealed. When Joe Rogan leaned forward during one of his latest podcasts and said, "You ever notice how no one brings up Ellen anymore? Like, at all?" It was a quiet bomb that detonated across the internet. His tone wasn't mocking. It was careful, measured, and strangely deliberate. You could tell this wasn't random curiosity. It was the voice of someone who knew there was a deeper silence beneath the noise. He mentioned Diddy's unraveling, how the media feasted on every new headline, how celebrities raced to distance themselves, how moral outrage suddenly had a schedule. Then, with a slow grin, he asked why that same energy evaporated when Ellen DeGeneres' empire fell apart. The comments section erupted. Fans arguing that Hollywood had quietly scrubbed her existence to protect something much larger. Rogan wasn't implying she disappeared by accident. He framed it as an unspoken industry code, one where certain figures are sacrificed and others are shielded. People act like Diddy's a monster, but Ellen was the darling of daytime TV for 2 decades. He said, "She built her brand on kindness, and then everyone around her started describing her like a tyrant. Then she just vanished. No red carpet comebacks. No Netflix apology special. Gone. That doesn't happen in this business unless someone wants it to." It was the kind of observation that makes Rogan dangerous to the establishment, because he doesn't accuse directly. He simply connects dots that most people pretend not to see. Behind the scenes, the whispers about Ellen had turned into a kind of Hollywood folklore. Assistants who once guarded her image now worked on other shows but carried the same haunted expression when her name came up. According to one insider who spoke off-record, Ellen's final season wasn't just the end of a TV run, it was the erasure of a legacy that had become inconvenient. The studio didn't want the liability anymore, the source claimed. The network couldn't afford another year of chaos. They paid her out quietly, killed every renewal conversation, and promised to keep her name out of the headlines. Rogan's audience, used to his deep dive discussions about power structures, immediately latched onto the idea that Elon's downfall wasn't organic, it was managed. Clips of Ellen's old interviews resurfaced online, showing her laughing awkwardly when celebrities hinted at her temper. Dakota Johnson's, "Actually, no, that's not true." Ellen moment became a symbol of quiet rebellion, proof that Hollywood insiders had known all along. Joe highlighted that incident, saying it wasn't just a viral meme, it was a public crack in the facade. "You can see it in her eyes," Rogan noted. That moment broke something in her brand. The machine behind her realized the charm had stopped working. Fans revisited footage from her later seasons, where her smiles felt brittle, her energy forced, and her monologues defensive. The show that once radiated joy had turned into a performance of damage control. But the more Rogan talked, the more he pointed toward the eerie pattern. When male celebrities fall, there's chaos, memes, documentaries, redemption arcs. When Ellen fell, there was silence. "That kind of silence doesn't happen unless it's strategic," he said. "Someone up there decided she was done, and no one wants to touch the story because it exposes too much." He compared it to the Diddy situation, how both had been accused of mistreating people under their control. Yet only one became a moral crusade. The difference, he argued, was that Ellen had too many powerful friends in the corporate world. When she fell, Rogan said, it wasn't about justice. It was about containment. People began digging again. Former producers hinted that the show's culture wasn't unique, just unusually exposed. "Every talk show has the same pressure, the same hierarchy," one said. Ellen just got caught in the shift when audiences started craving authenticity over polish. But Rogan didn't buy that simple explanation. He said Ellen's story had been rewritten to protect networks from scrutiny. "It's not just about her yelling at interns," he said. "It's about the illusion that daytime TV is wholesome. Once people see behind that curtain, the whole format dies." That statement hit hard, especially when you consider how the daytime space collapsed after Elon's exit. Ratings for similar shows nosedive. The public's appetite for that brand of optimism simply disappeared. Rogan's speculation reached another level when he suggested that Elon's brand wasn't just about entertainment, it was about influence. She had politicians, billionaires, Hollywood elites all coming through that couch, he said. When her reputation cracked, so did theirs. He mentioned her infamous friendship with George W. Bush, her close ties to major corporate sponsors, and her rumored connections with several high-profile PR firms that handled crisis management for the entertainment industry's biggest names. That's why nobody touches her story, he continued, because to talk about Ellen is to talk about how the industry protects its chosen faces. The irony, as Rogan pointed out, was that Diddy and Ellen shared a similar media arc. Adored, powerful, untouchable until they weren't. But while Diddy's name was dragged across tabloids daily, Ellen's was scrubbed so clean it was as if she'd never existed. There's a difference between cancellation and deletion, Rogan said, and Ellen got deleted. His audience fell silent after that line. You could almost hear the weight of what he was implying. In the weeks that followed, independent creators and commentary channels began piecing together. They noticed how, shortly after Diddy's scandal reignited public conversation about abuse in celebrity circles, every mention of Ellen in media coverage seemed to vanish. Algorithms didn't recommend her clips. Search results buried old controversies. Her official social pages went inactive without notice. Rogan's team even played with the idea that her PR firms might have quietly paid for online suppression, whether true or not. It fit the larger theme of controlled narratives, a Hollywood habit of erasing inconvenient figures rather than addressing them. And yet, despite all the speculation, Rogan never accused Ellen personally. His focus stayed on the system, the quiet understanding among studios, executives, and PR agencies that certain stories were too tangled to unpack. It's not about Ellen being evil, he said. It's about a culture that builds people up for profit and destroys them when they stop making money. That's why no one talks about her, because to do that, they'd have to admit the system's the real villain. As the episode ended, Rogan's producer Jamie murmured that maybe Ellen was just tired of fame. Rogan smiled faintly and replied, maybe. Or maybe she saw what happens when you stop playing the role they wrote for you. The silence that followed said more than any headline could. So here's where it all lands. Joe Rogan didn't expose Ellen to gossip. He exposed a pattern, how fame in Hollywood doesn't end with disgrace, but with deletion. The public saw Diddy dragged into a spectacle of moral reckoning, but when it came to Ellen, the media built a wall of quiet. It wasn't forgiveness, it was strategy. That silence is what Rogan wanted people to hear. The pause, that means someone somewhere has decided the conversation is over. And that silence should terrify anyone who still believes celebrity culture reflects the truth. If you've made it this far, you're not just following a headliner, following the thread of how image, power, and silence work together. Ask yourself, what does it take to erase someone who was once everywhere? How do millions of someone who was once everywhere? How do millions of clips, interviews, awards, and smiling faces simply stop existing in the public mind? It's not accident. It's not rest. It's a machine turning off the lights. And Joe Rogan, in his rough, curious way, is the guy who walks into that dark room and flicks the switch back on. That's why his voice cuts through. Because he isn't selling outrage, he's asking why the outrage stopped. If this story made you think twice about what Hollywood chooses to remember and what it chooses to bury, then it's time to act. Don't let the silence win. Talk about it. Comment what you think happened behind closed doors. Do you believe Ellen stepped away by choice, or was she forced out when she stopped serving the narrative? Was it guilt, exhaustion, or power pressure that pushed her into disappearance? Your thoughts matter because collective curiosity is the one thing the industry can't control. Share this video with someone who still believes the headlines tell the whole story. Let them see that when Joe Rogan connects names like Diddy and Ellen, he isn't chasing scandal, he's revealing the invisible architecture of fame. The same one that decides who gets crucified and who gets quietly retired. The same one that can turn applause into absence overnight. This isn't about defending anyone. It's about recognizing patterns that repeat until someone says, wait, didn't we see this before? And if you've noticed that too, that familiar rhythm of rise, collapse, and silence, then hit subscribe, because that's what this channel does. We don't echo the tabloids. We dissect the pauses between them. We follow the threads that corporate media leaves hanging. Every story here exists to make you look again, question the timing, question the tone, and understand how easily public memory can be rewritten when the people in power agree it's time. Ellen's story may be over in headlines, but not in meaning. Her absence is now the proof of what Rogan warned about. That the most dangerous punishment in entertainment isn't scandal, it's erasure. It's when a name once used to sell kindness becomes too uncomfortable to mention. And that's where stories like this one begin, inside the gap between what's shown and what's hidden. So before you scroll away, remember this: silence is not peace. It's a choice made by people who profit when the public stops asking questions. You don't have to pick a side. You just have to stay awake. Because the moment you stop noticing who disappears, you stop seeing who's pulling the strings. Click the bell, stay connected, and let's keep pulling them one thread at a time.